There we go. Happy Triumph Tuesday. Got a lot of stuff going on today and some exciting news. Good, excuse me. Good evening, everyone. This is Carroll-Sue, aka Nani Boss, with two
sisters. Hey, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Triumph Tuesday at night with two sisters. Today is Tuesday, August 16th, 2022. And would you like to share the big news?
Yes, I would love to share the big news. And this is the actual date, not date-wise, but episode-wise. But of course, we are going to be having a bigger celebration come the fall, just because of our conflicting schedules. Today, again, not about the date, marks our 500th episode of our podcast, which when you think about that, it is a huge milestone for us. Really starting in the heat of really the beginning stages of what occurred 2.5 years ago, as well as, not really knowing how or what we were doing. And we're still learning, we're still growing. We've got some great things coming up. But, one thing that I when I was thinking about it, because we knew it was coming up to the state, we always like to verify. Jan's got to do obviously a lot of technical things just to make sure the numbers are matching and whatnot, is the many people that we've shared with you, because it's really not about us. It's really about adding value to our experiences and sharing them with you to further add to the value of what we're sharing by having some amazing guests from all spectrums of anything health, wellness, mindset. We've had controversial guests, we've had motivating guests, we've had inspirational guests, and the stories and the journeys that really kind of make up our podcast is one that we are consistently proud of. We are consistently excited about, and I can't, my mind only imagines where we will go, come the next 500 episodes, because it really, it is a milestone when you really go back to the very beginning. And I know Jan's got clips of that, which I'm sure are kind of like a blooper reel she'll be working on. But, we never shied away from any subjects, because everything that we talk about really has some sort of impact with your wellness, whether it be your mindset, whether it be how you feel, whether it adds joy, whether it adds stress, whether it's good for your gut, whether it's not good for your gut. These are all different pieces that we have been really proud to not only collaborate, but really just bring it back to our listeners and our viewers, because that's what it's about. It's not about us. It's about how can we impact you with, the quirky things that go in our life, the sillies, the reminiscing, the frustration, the stress, the joys, but also incorporating how all these, things around us really impact our health and our wellness. Don't you think, Jim?
It certainly does. And, as you said, when we started this, it was about our passion. It wasn't about what we were so much as what we were doing. It was about our passion to share, and having guests on really added to that. And when we started having guests on, I remember one of our discussions where we said, well, we can't have anybody in the same industry. And then we both sat back and we're like, wait a minute, that wouldn't do well, because if we want to share what we're passionate about, sometimes sharing what we're passionate about is getting a different point of view, which is where, we've always said that we have welcomed opposing viewpoints, and there have been times when we've had guests on where, sometimes you think something is going to go one way and it goes another way, and that's okay. But the bottom line is we are always respectful. We respect somebody's opinion. We may not agree with you 100%. We may not agree with someone 50%, but the passion is there between both people to kind of give and take in that, coming together to share what we're passionate about. And I think that's amazing. I can remember our, a couple of our few guests, and their names escape me right at the moment, but it really was in the winter of 2020 where we really started to add a flair for how we were having guests on. Again, there was, and the processes that we went through were just like, oh my God, do we really want to do this? Just getting that rhythm together. And of course, we finally figured it out, and that I think is the beauty of what we do, because we've been able to showcase so many amazing people. I would have to say we've had tons of amazing guests, but the first person, when I think of guests, I can't help but think of her is Alexi Bracy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She is absolutely wonderful. And, there's just so many that,
My God. Yeah.
The funnies, the crack ups, the jokes, the one-liners, the nuggets. There's just so many that really encompass everything that inspires us to inspire all of you. And like Jan said, like in the beginning, we said, oh, do we want people in the same industry? But, there's so many different segments and pieces that make up everything health and wellness, because it's not a one size fits all. It really is. We always talk about that we look differently. We have our gut health is different. What we're trying to achieve for our goals and our fitness level is different. It really depends on your age. We kind of we weave in and out of the different challenges that we get involved with. And we also tell you when we stink at them.
Yeah, like I'm not afraid to say, like, I suck at burpees. Like I talk about that all the time. But, what stands out to me too is this podcast, Two Sisters, is on 30 plus different platforms. And ironically, now we obviously do things very different as far as having guests on than when we first did. There was a lot of going back and forth, and oh my God, I was like
the growing pains.
Yeah, the growing pains. But anyways, long story short with that, Dr. Kaleigh in California happened to stumble upon our podcast, and he reached out to me, and I'm like, okay, I checked him out online, this and that. He seems like a nice person, but everybody goes through the same process. And, I sent him a nice email back, if you're interested, please feel free to check out our website and register as a guest. And he did, like within a day. And, and then of course we had our little pre-podcast chat. Now, a lot of podcasters don't do that. We do that for a very specific reason. Number one, it not only saves us a lot of time, but it saves our guests a lot of time, as far as going back and forth. Oh, can you do this day? Can you do that? And then they so appreciate it because they get to meet us beforehand at one-on-one versus being on stage and being live when we're just meeting them. It makes it for the podcast to go, I think, a lot more smoother.
It does, and it really gives us some insight to who and why we're sharing that person. Again, we're very proud to say that we don't limit it to a certain subject. We don't limit it to even a view, because just like everyone has their go-tos of what they do in mindset, their go-tos for their health or fitness, workout schedule, whatever. It's very creative and postured to bring on even people that may not resonate with anyone in particular. This is how you kind of decipher and kind of pick and choose. Now, not everyone likes to do, say, kickboxing. Not everyone likes to go to the gym. Some people may want to be more outdoors. Some people may like structure. Some other people are willing to, try any kind of different challenge. So I love, and there's so many health and wellness challenges out there, but I love how we incorporated everything, all mind, body, and spirit, because at the end of the day, we truly believe in our hearts that your mindset has to be in such, your gut health's got to be as such, your physical being's got to be as such, and then you got to be accountable. And you don't just, it doesn't come natural to everyone. We know that. It becomes really about developing those good habits or whatever type of level and, type of, really exercise and or diet. And we don't even like to use that word diet because we all diet. It's just a matter of eating good or eating like crap. So, and adding all that into it, not making it boring, like really putting in, our perspective with some funnies, because you got to have some funnies. If you're not laughing at yourself,
Right.
that's good for the mindset.
And I think one of my other memorable podcasts was probably about 2 months or so before Poppy passed away. And he was walking through, when we used to record in his media room there, and he was walking through with his Tiffany, and
Yes.
And, just seeing his face light up, seeing his daughter doing, both of his daughters just enjoying what we were doing, I'll never forget that smile on his face.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a great memory. Just even sharing, about our childhood, because a lot of the things that we went through, a lot of people we know has similar experiences. And, it's always good to go back to refocus and embrace those blessings. And even, when you think about starting a project such as this, with really no knowledge, no experience, in the middle of what was going on in our world, because we firmly believe that there was definitely blessings out there. So many people renegotiated, repivoted, maybe were derailing their journey in one way, and then they got back on course and come to find out that they were going to go in a totally different direction than what they thought they really wanted. And I think that's what has inspired so many of our viewers and our listeners, is the possibility that it does not matter your age, it doesn't matter where you are, that when you make that commitment and say, you know what, I'm going for it, I'm going to put it all out there, because I am not going to take my dreams and goals and they're going to be in the boneyard before no one's ever going to know about them. So we really encourage everyone to really reevaluate, and it's okay to do that. It's okay to reevaluate and decide, I really thought I loved that, but I don't like that so much. Or, wow, I didn't know that I was naturally good at this. How did I not know that all this years? I'm finding one of the things that, I'm re-looking at is yoga. Now, I was in a yoga class, I don't know, 10, 12, 15 years ago. And we were politely asked not to come back in a roundabout way because, I never put in any relevance into an instructor. Now I do. She was very structured. She had no personality from my perspective. And, let's face it, when you start out yoga in particular, you're in these very awkward, stances, and your body's in these awkward positions that it's kind of goofy. And, we couldn't stop cracking up. And, she wanted everything, very, very reserved. And I thought, oh. And now, I'm rediscovering a different instructor, which does bring yoga into a more fun, pleasant, very relaxing piece that's going to be added to my routine that I never thought I would do. And that's the point at 64. You're changing something up. Well, why not? We're not dead yet. So that's what we love, and that's what we're sharing with you, to have that confidence to say, maybe it's something to do with your fitness. Maybe it's your mindset. How many of us, I think we can all relate to this, especially with Labor Day coming up, because Labor Day coming up means we're celebrating the American worker. How many of you thought about a profession, a career, or like this dream job? I mean, of course we all have. You wouldn't be dreaming if you didn't. And, what if someone was to say to you, and I think this is part of the joy that our podcast brings, is why not go for it? Or maybe another version of it. Like, don't let it go in the boneyard, share it, figure it out, collaborate with people, lock your arms with other people that want to see you succeed in all aspects of health, wellness, and mindset.
Yeah. And, the mindset part is, something, it's always a work in progress. I mean, you don't like just wake up and say, I have mindset, let's go.
Exactly.
It really is a work in progress. Yes, it's something that I work on every day, maybe twice a day, actually. But, that helps build a foundation. You always need a foundation no matter what you do. So I have a question for you. Do you think is one of your most memorable guests?
I would probably have to say Paul Forcino. I mean, he just,
Forcione?
Forcione, I'm pronouncing it wrong.
Okay.
Yes. He just had this great story, and it's his journey, but how inspiring it was, and to see even where his journey has even changed over the last, year and a half, 2 years. I mean, when you see that, he's bright, he's intelligent, he's has such a kind soul. He's just a kind soul. And his message, really touched me, not only from a persevering perspective, but the value that he placed, that he had such, his mom's support, and, fighting those battles and really showing him, like, you're not gonna quit. You're not gonna like poor me. You're gonna work this out. And how he pays homage to her all the time, which I think is a wonderful thing. So he would probably, I mean, there's so many. So if I'm not calling your name out, that does not mean I don't value all of them. I mean, I could only say there was probably one or two that, would have been a yawn for me, or like, say what? But I still loved being able for us to be able to still showcase them, even though, I might not have had the same kind of mindset that they did. And that's what I love about it is, we have the ability to reach so many people, being on, 33, 35 platforms, and adding that value, because, you may have guests on, you say, ooh, sounds interesting. And then you hear them like, that wouldn't be for me. I wouldn't try that. Or, you learn something that I don't think there hasn't been one guest that we've had on that we haven't learned something from. And that really inspires and should inspire people to understand that you never stop learning, even though you may not be in school and you're older and you may be even entering like retirement, like you should always be open-minded to learning.
Oh, absolutely. Always open mind to learning, and, to challenge yourself when you need to be challenged, and to listen with intent, especially when you don't agree with somebody's point of view, because the feedback that you will get, I mean, we've literally made friends with people from around the world, which I think is pretty darn amazing. When you call your sister, you don't expect her to pick up, hey, I think we should start a podcast. Okay, yeah, you get everything set up, goodbye. And and the first couple of episodes, sometimes I still do listen to them and I crack up. To me, it's so hilarious. Like, okay, I was maybe the engineer of it, whatever you want to call me, but I didn't know what I was doing. I had to learn fast. And I laugh because, that just shows you, no matter what is happening, don't stress yourself out with the details of the unknown, and just kind of roll with it. And one thing about podcasting that I would like to say too, I know a lot of people who obviously podcast, and great podcasters out there. But what I've seen and heard in different podcast groups is we are unedited. Like, obviously I will upload this tomorrow. Sometimes I try to do it, but I'm not going to do that tonight because I want to create a special graphic. But they have all these amazing episodes, but they're holding on to them because they got to make them perfect, meaning, the intro and the outro. And some of these intros and outros, like, they blow me away, and kudos to them. But I'm like, oh my gosh, this would be a great podcast. And I've seen different posts. Hey, I had this amazing person on, blah blah blah, and it'll be on my podcast in November. Well, you've already lost, and in a sense, and I feel bad in a way. But then, that's all part of the podcast industry. Everybody does things differently, and that's okay too. I would just say, from my perspective, that we're missing out on all those good episodes. Like, get them up and running. I want to hear them.
Right. And again, it's, everyone has to do their thing their way. That's how I look at it.
Absolutely.
Depending, if it doesn't necessarily have to do with something that's like a current event, I don't really see an issue in it. If that's how they're doing it. Obviously, yes, if it has to do with something that's in a current event, yeah. Then if you delay it, then you're going to kind of lose that momentum of maybe the message that you're trying to get out. But I do know some people really have an artistic knack for doing those intros and exits and all that. So they're showcasing not only the podcast, but some of their digital experience and or editing pieces to it that they take pride in it. So, I love the fact that there's just so many different ones. I mean, some of the greatest podcasters, you find them just sitting at their desk talking, some with a microphone, some without a microphone. Might be the same background, maybe it's not. The real piece to it is just do it. If it's something that you feel you've got something that's like weighing on your heart, or that you want to share, or that you can add value, that's really the spirit of everything that we do in life. Really impacting our world in a positive way, adding joy to it, obviously, realness to it. That's what we do. We've had moments where, we've laughed, we've cried, we've got, that stress, we got angry, we obviously much joy, sharing, tough things, but those are things that anybody goes through. Some people don't like to share those things. And that's why we decided we wanted to really have it more of a conversation with as little editing as possible, because most people, they may not have those kind of tools. They may not have the equipment that goes to it. There's a lot of timely, different pieces of, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Different editing programs, all of that. And it's that piece to it takes a lot of practice, and you got to have an knack for it.
Oh, absolutely. I can remember doing my learning. I wanted to learn so bad how to, do the thumbnail for YouTube and put in an A roll and the B roll and sound effects. And I finally figured it out, but it takes like a lot of thought in different respects. And who knows, at some point, 500 episodes in, we may decide to edit an episode and put in all the hoopla, like, who knows. And that's what I think is kind of amazing, that who knows where it's going to take us. And I just think it's rather exciting.
Oh, absolutely. And just, we're blessed that we have some certain guests that, frequent on our podcast, because they have so much to say, and they add so much, and everyone adds value. I'm excited to see, what new guests that we will have coming on, and what new things that, we will be sharing. That's what I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah. In fact, we have an amazing guest on tomorrow morning, Janis Montrose. He, I want to say, is from New Zealand, and I'm probably wrong about that, but he's quite a distance. I think he's over in the pond area, as they say. But he's has a different, he approaches wellness from a different avenue. And that's what we love about what we do. We love having these conversations with, people from all over the world that we can engage in healthy debate and, find out more about them and, how they work with their clients. And I think that's kind of neat.
Oh, I do too. And again, it helps resonate with different people. We, as we always say, we all look different. We have different challenges. We have different things that our gut needs versus somebody else, different mindset, and we look differently. So it's great to be able to have a platform to share many, many different options. And life should be about options of what works best for you, because ultimately, the person that's the authority and the expert of you is you.
Absolutely. And, there's just, I can't believe that this is episode 500. I knew we were obviously getting close to it, but I have to do my little verification process thing that I do just to confirm that. And the next thing I want to do is see, after I upload this, is to see if it will give me a tally on how many minutes is 500 episodes, which obviously is a lot of hours. But that,
Oh yeah, I mean, because and that's the other thing. Sometimes we have a quick message. Sometimes if we have a guest on, it runs a little bit longer than we normally do, like for just the two of us, and we have that flexibility. We're not structured so much that if we got someone's really sharing something that's so important, and the conversation is lively and really getting people to think of those questions to ask, and that communication. We have that flexibility to do it that way. We have the flexibility to go at night, during the day. We have the flexibility to say, you know what, we the two of us are going in two different directions for a week. We're going to time out for a week, and obviously we'll still post things to let people know what's going on. But we have so much flexibility, and that's why I love it, because we can really fit into the nooks and crannies of what we're doing, so we don't get burnt out, stale, or not keep things fresh for everyone. And the way that we do things does, and I love that. We get so many messages from different people, and different things that they question us on, and what about this? What about that? Did you think about this? And so it adds value to how we think about who that next guest may be. And we've been able to showcase a lot of people and really show the goodness of being an entrepreneur by helping other people and get their message out. That's the whole point of it.
absolutely. And, who knows what's on the horizon? I always think, of the horizon like a rainbow, and I don't know, to me, that's exciting. The rainbow. What's beyond the rainbow?
That's God's promise, double rainbow for sure.
Absolutely. And on that note, this is episode 500. Woo-hoo! Amazing, just amazing. I feel so blessed and grateful to be in this space, share this space with my sister. And yeah, and on that note, of course, we will see you tomorrow morning. We'll be on at 8 a.m. with Yasi. I hope I am pronouncing that correctly. And my name is Janis, aka Wellness Diva 5.0, and I'm with two
sisters. So this is Carroll-Sue, aka Nani Boss, celebrating 500 episodes with my sister. And we continue to strive to make sure that we're providing value and adding to different topics that you want to talk about, different things that you want to learn. Check out our website. It is, go ahead, you're better at it than I am.
www.2TWO sistas.online.
There you go. There you have it. You can also leave us a message. Maybe, there's a subject matter that I think we pretty much touched upon a plethora, let's say, of different types of subjects, but we haven't touched upon everything. Is there something that you would like to see us pursue? Maybe search out a guest on a subject matter that really means something to you, or that you want to find out more information. We love hearing from our viewers and our listeners because we're blessed that we have some people that watch us live. We have people that, watch us on one of our different, platforms, and or those that just listen, that don't physically see it, but they listen to it. So we thank you all for continuing to support us all on our first 500 episodes, and we hope that you will continue and that we are giving you things that you want to come back and watch us for the next 500 episodes. With that, we will see you tomorrow morning. Celebration, yes. Thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow morning. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Everyone.